it pissed me off because I was like, this woman is just attacking me for no fucking reason. She's coming to my page and telling my boyfriend to leave me. And it's clearly because, I think her bio says single mom, and she thinks you're cute. She was leaving you little emojis.
I'm great with kids.
Okay, welcome back to the Harley and Malarkey podcast, Old Dog, New Tricks. So today we are talking about girl-on-girl crime.
Girl-on-girl crime. I don't think it's a crime, and I think it should be highly encouraged.
I think half the reason we're doing this episode is so Brian could say that.
Yeah, that was good.
I just spent a lovely weekend in Bend, Oregon with some of my best girlfriends, and there was really no girl-on-girl crime there. So,
oh, that's not what the cameras in the house said. I told you, we had the rings are running. We were so girl-on-girl crime is not what I would like to think it is. Girl-on-girl crime, can you put it in a little bit more context?
Yeah, I think it's when women attack other women really for no apparent reason.
Oh, that's mine again. Okay, sorry. Hold on.
And I thought of this, one, because I did see this post that this woman who I've referred to before, V's Honey, posted about, like, just women tearing each other down for no reason, and that she experienced it in her pregnancy. And I think women are so quick to judge other women, like, online, and I hear that, like, when women are pregnant or have children, like, women become incredibly judgmental, and instead of, like, oh, can I help this person, or can I support this person with love? It's like, you did this wrong. You did this wrong. Your baby's gonna die because you took this vitamin. Like, women are so quick to attack another woman. And I don't know, do you feel like men are that way with each other?
No.
Yeah.
Men carry so much less drama, right?
Well,
men keep it small. Women talk about things. Men just tell jokes and laugh and hang out. There's not a lot of deep conversation in the man world that I'm aware of. Well, I haven't been invited to it. And I don't really want to go to it.
We have just seen Elon and Trump's public breakup, and that would be girl-on-girl crime.
That's a girl-on-girl crime. I like that. Well done.
But I also find that that's also offensive to women, because women in political office would truly never behave that way towards each other, in my belief. So no offense to women with that comment, but that is some petty girl-on-girl crime right there.
Men don't. I don't think we don't have the intelligence or the patience to spend that much time. We might go, oh my God, so and so is oh my God, he lost a job. And like, oh, that sucks. I hope he gets another one. Like, that's about as far as we went.
Yeah.
You know?
I know you told me not to get in the macro on this, and so I'll try to keep this brief, but I do think, like, historically speaking, like, men have engaged in team sports together as their way of socializing, or men, work together at the office to accomplish a common goal. And women have not as long historically, like, been in the office with other women. And so, like, there were a few women in the office at a time. And so those women, they had to prove themselves. They had to be better than all these men. And so there were few that could be successful, not all of them. And so I think that's potentially one of the ways that women became more competitive with other women. And there
less jobs, less opportunities.
Less jobs, less opportunities. I mean, we talked about this before on, like, the dating apps, how there's, like, 5% of the men on there are eligible, and, like, 85% of the women on there are, like, eligible. And so I think there is, like, this scare.
And 4.5% of those 5% are just fuckboys.
Yeah. So we've got 0.5% of good men out there. And so I think that it is, whether it's true or not, there is this scarcity mindset that women have. Like, there's not enough to go around for all of us.
So they have to take down their sisters.
Yeah, so they think that the best way to do it is to take down another woman. But that really actually puts us at a greater disadvantage, because women are incredibly powerful when they get together. Like, the things that women have done for, like, the women's suffrage movement, for all the advances we've had in, women's rights, that's all women coming together. Like, women are incredibly powerful together. And I think we've kind of been taught that there isn't enough to go around. And therefore, like, a lot of women do tear each other down because they feel scared. They feel competitive. And I think that there is more awareness around it with my generation than previous generations. Like just hearing the way my mom and her friends would talk about other women versus the way me and my friends talk about other women, I think has changed. I think we are learning, like, women are powerful together. We should support each other. But it still exists. And I think it will exist for a long time.
Catty bitches.
Catty bitches, yeah.
Catty bitches. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, and a lot of this started because somebody was making some shitty comments on our Harley Malarkey podcast, and you're like, "Why is this bitch trying to tear me down? Is she trying to get a piece of this sex machine that I got next to me? That's me,
Yeah.
And we have no idea why, but she was attacking you
For no reason. And like, I can understand if somebody leaves a negative comment on like our podcast because they disagree with something that I said, or they, I offended them in some way, or, whatever, like for a reason. And this woman commented on she just started following us apparently, and commented on 2 different reels for no reason, just tearing me down.
saying like I should get like a new host.
Basically, yeah.
Malarkey, you deserve better than that. That's what she said.
She basically said that. The first one, I think I said one word in it. It was like a reel that was all Brian talking, and I think I just said like, yeah, like I was agreeing with him. And she was like, who in the Food Network is that girl? Or something like that. Just so like upset that I existed. And I'm like, okay, it's stupid. Don't respond. And then on the next reel reposted, she was like, she's attitude and not in a cute way. And then she did like a running emoji, like basically insinuating that my boyfriend, who I'm hosting a podcast with, and she's on my podcast page, should leave me because of my bad attitude. And like the irony, the contradiction and all of that is like ridiculous. But it was just like, it pissed me off. And not because I'm like, this woman
This pissed her off.
It did. Not like because this woman was saying anything that I like really resonated. Like I think a lot of times people are like, oh, if somebody says something that upsets you, it's because it's like kind of true. I'm like, well, I mean, it is kind of true. I have an attitude, but like I like my attitude. I'm not insecure about having an attitude. It pissed me off because I was like, this woman is just attacking me for no fucking reason. She's coming to my page and telling my boyfriend to leave me. And it's clearly because, I think her bio says single mom, and she thinks you're cute. She was leaving you little emojis.
I'm great with kids.
You are great with kids. And so clearly this woman is actually jealous of me, but I'm like, what if you didn't do that? And this is what I commented back. I'm like, what if you didn't go to a stranger's page and tell her boyfriend to run? Like, what if you didn't set that kind of example for your boys? They didn't have a mom with a mean girl attitude like you. We want to talk about attitudes? Like, that's a mean girl attitude. And it just got me thinking, like, why would you do that? Like, what would possess somebody to go and just attack somebody for no reason?
Just take it off this one person. But just like...
No, and it's like...
It stimulated the conversation.
It did.
Where you're going, women are constantly taking each other down. Like, oh my God, she's fat. She doesn't work out enough. She's like, look at that. She gets something done to her face. Does she do this? She do that? Just shit talking.
Yeah.
A lot of shit talking.
So much shit talking.
Oh, yes. And so, what do we do about it?
It's exhausting. And I think women deal with a lot of insecurities, and I think, women obviously want to look good and attractive so that men are attracted to them, but I think women are most insecure in a lot of ways because of what other women might say about them.
Well, so just a sec, observation I had was, yes, women get dressed up, they say, to like impress the men or the sex that they're trying to attract. Right? It might be another woman, right? And so, but what I found was really crazy was you were going on this weekend getaway with your girls last weekend, and before you left, you were like really kind of tightening down on the amount of food you ate. You went and got a suntan. You went and exercised more. You went on this. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, you're really getting dolled up for the girls.
Well, it really wasn't because I thought they were going to judge me. It was because one of my friends, and she knows who she is, takes way too many fucking pictures, and you just don't want to, like, not feel good about yourself.
But isn't that common knowledge that you don't dress up for the men a lot? You dress up for the other girls.
Yeah, I think so. I've never really been that way. Like, I dress more, which is not necessarily a positive thing, but I've always dressed, like, sexy and not to, like, necessarily impress other women. Like, I've just, like, I used to like dressing sexy to get men thought I was attractive, I think, which I learned from my mom. My mom always dressed really sexy, and that just kind of became my style. I mean, I don't think I dress like slutty or overly sexy now.
Not as much, no. But when we first started dating and you're like trying to land the big whale, you're like, oh.
I think, yeah, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into like fashion a little bit, and it is more things that like women would notice versus what men would notice.
What's so funny is women will notice the bag, will notice the shoes. The men will not.
No.
They will notice your cleavage. They will notice your legs. They will notice your hair, your eyes, your face. Most of that fashionable stuff it just doesn't matter. Just give me some skin, show me the right lighting, and laugh at my jokes. Oh, you're gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a lot of the pressure that women put on themselves is to look good for other women.
I agree. And I think that it's causing a lot of issues in so many ways. I mean, I think one, like, just why? Like, why would you do that? Like, it doesn't make you feel good to tear another woman down, and it doesn't
might make
them
some people feel good.
Yeah.
It makes them feel better about themselves when bringing somebody else down.
I guess that's what it is. But if you have to tear somebody else down to feel good about yourselves, like, you are empty inside. You really are.
There's a lot of fucking empty people in the world. We need to, what is it? Levitate.
Yeah, levity, not gravity.
Levity, not gravity. Women need to build each other up.
Well, also, I would say that we are in a plastic surgery, filler, Botox, Ozempic epidemic.
For a while.
Like, yeah.
But really, really at the top of the mountain.
But it's like an epidemic of, like, I don't know. I think there are positives that people that are very insecure can, change some things around. But the fact, and I would suspect nothing less than for Kris Jenner to get a facelift where she looks like she's in her 30s at age 70. Like,
awesome.
She's the one who's like started all of this, and it makes sense. But I think in a lot of ways, like, it makes me really scared and sad that like this is what our world is, and now to be like an attractive woman for other women, and then also just because, to like. If
spit it out, girl. Get a direction and head there.
Don't be an asshole.
I don't think just.
I'm talking.
Okay.
You haven't contributed much to this conversation.
I don't know.
I'm carrying it on my. I'm carrying it on my back.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
Don't cut that out. That's good. That's real interaction. That's what people want to see. They want to see if they're real, or if they want to see if we're just Botox. You know what I'm saying?
But when a certain amount of women start doing this, it's kind of like this snowball effect of now we all feel this pressure to get the little nip here and the tuck there. And is that what we've come to in this world, that everybody's going to get plastic surgery? And like, how do we stop that?
I think it's the coast and the elitists that are the ones taking advantage of it because they're the ones that can afford it. You don't even have to get that stuff done anymore. You can just put a filler over your face and post yourself on social media.
Which I think is crazy too. Like, I just like see people's photos and I'm like, okay, you put an AI filter on your face. Like, what is the point of that? Like, is the point so that these people that follow you that you may never see again in real life think that you're unattainably beautiful? Is it so that these men that you're interested in will be like, wow, she's incredibly beautiful, and then they'll see you in real life and it's like, oh, she doesn't look exactly like her pictures? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
In a fucked up society. Who knows? Everyone, because we have that ability. I mean, I don't know. Like, yes, I've seen so many people who are a nice looking person, and then you see him on social media and you're like, oh my God, are you a fucking supermodel?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And we're just living in this more fake, falsified, confused society. And, drink extra virgin olive oil and go fucking walk in the Mediterranean. Those people just age gracefully and beautifully. And it's so wild, as I have Botox in my face and I'm 90 years old and I look like this. But, yeah, it's just so crazy the amount, it's just how insecure our whole entire society is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is. Women tear each other up because of insecurities. Women they talk shit on each other. There was, we just watched White Lotus. There's the 3 girls, and that was it. They just sit around the pool and talk shit on each other. If 2 were there, they talk shit about the other one. They talk shit about that one. Men just aren't that smart or that bored to do that kind of stuff. We have very little of that interaction at all. And it's so wild to see women of all different age brackets. You know, my mom has girlfriends, but not like, I guess she has really great friends. But you just have to surround yourself with people who are not insecure and who want to just be real friends and live a real life.
Yeah, and be authentic and be imperfect. Like I think embracing imperfections and still being confident and loving yourself is like
The strongest thing ever.
yeah, I mean it's the most unique thing in the world now. I think a big part of it is like getting offline though. I think that like obviously Instagram has exacerbated all of this because people spend so many hours a day on their phone. And what are you doing when you're on your phone? You're looking at pictures of other people that are edited and that you're like, oh my gosh, all my friends, like they look so good. Maybe you don't realize that they all have AI filters on themselves. And that's why you think you need plastic surgery. And I think one of the solutions is to really get out in the real world and spend less time on your phone. Like in my experience at being at that yoga teacher training with 30 women was like women are so powerful when we come together and when we're here and present for each other and when we're not obsessed with taking photos and we're not obsessed with people knowing what we're doing and we can really be present with each other. Like there's so much magic and beauty there. And I think it's unfortunate now, like even the fact that I'm like, oh God, there's gonna be so many fucking pictures of me at this girls' weekend that I want to look a certain way. Like it is so nice to have photos for memories, but to me it's so shitty when you take so many photos that like you're not in the moment. You're more worried about how you look than what you're actually doing. And we need to stop. We need to stop doing that.
Yeah. Just make some t-shirts.
Yeah. What, get off your fucking phone?
Get off your fucking phone. I would say that's a huge part of it. You know, I think there was a lot of this underlying thing, and you had mentioned earlier that there was, because of so few job opportunities for the women back in the, you know, the 50s, 60s, 70s, as women went into the workforce, there was an enormous, and probably still is, a lot of competition against the women. So that turns them against each other, you know? If I walk in for a job with 5 other dudes, I'm immediately going to be like, I'm better than these guys, you know? And I think that happens
well, and before women were competing in the workforce, they were competing for somebody to pay their bills. Like women couldn't really work, and so like finding a husband was how you survived, you know? Like finding a husband so you could reproduce and so they could take care of you was literally how you and the human race survived. So the way that we had set up our society was where women had to be really competitive with one another.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Blame it all on social media. The women are sitting around there looking at so-and-so. You did say something to me the other day that I thought was very interesting, that all these women are getting the same exact procedures, and they're all starting to look exactly the same. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of that, you know, the lips, the cheeks, this, and everyone's starting to just kind of morph into these AI-created creatures, you know, that look exactly the same, instead of having that uniqueness, that individualness, and, you know, that authenticity.
Yeah. I mean, I think the solution is we all need to learn how to, like, really love ourselves more. I think it's the solution to all of our problems in the world, but I think that's a whole other podcast in and of itself.
Like Bob Marley says, you know, one love,
Yeah.
one love. Also, you often, and your crew, you guys do your women's circles. You unite together, you hang out together, you support each other, you encourage each other. You do those sorts of things. So that would be good for women out there who are feeling a little isolated. Going, there are groups of women, lots of women that are pro women.
Yeah.
Like let's build each other up and give each other strength and power in numbers and power in support. So that is something great for listeners to potentially go look into.
Yes. I mean, I think if you don't have a strong network of women friends who make you feel safe, who make you feel beautiful, who make you feel loved, like it is an important thing to get through life because women understand women, like, you know, going through things like even I'm not pregnant, by the way. I know we've been talking a lot about pregnancy and childbirth, but like I've just been in that world going through my training and reading all these books for it. But like things like that, like a man will never know what it's like to be pregnant. A man will never know exactly what it's like to give birth.
Thank God. Thank God.
A man will never know what it's like to have their period, a period, to have hormonal swings like we do. Like men just don't understand what it's like to be a woman. And if the only close people you have in your life is like your husband or partner, one, that's putting too much pressure on your partner to be too much to you. And two, like there's a part of you that he just will never get in the same way that your girlfriends do. And so it is so important to like find those women that you can trust. And if you don't have any right now, like there are like yoga studios nearby, often put on women's circles. I might start a virtual one, but I think it's really important to seek that stuff out.
And it's not just, I'm thinking about it because like a mother and daughter's relationship is often very, very strained.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do like a lot of research on where this comes from, right? A wife and her mother-in-law have strained relationships. You women are just some seriously catty bitches.
No, I mean, that's all competition. It's like unhealed wounds. Like I think like if I look at my mom, it was like she had unhealed wounds because her mom was very competitive with her. Her mom didn't really want her to be born, and she wanted all of my grandfather's attention. She wanted all of her husband's attention for her. And when my mom was born, she felt like she had to share my grandpa with my mom, that she didn't get as much attention from her husband. And then my mom was more beautiful than her mother. And so then my mom got all this attention for how beautiful she was. And because my grandma was unhealed, she wasn't able to say like, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful daughter who my husband loves his daughter and she's so beautiful and glowing in this world. Like I want to uplift her. I want her to be better than I was. Like that's the goal of bringing a new person into the family, a new generation, is like, can they be better than we were? Like, can we pass on more wisdom so that they do better than we can? But when you haven't healed your own shit, then you're like, she's better than me. I don't want her to be better than me. It's this competition. And that sucks. I mean, and that's probably why women compete with their friends. Like a lot of times their mothers they've been competed with since they were born.
So I think the most important thing here, listeners, is if you recognize these patterns, and the best thing that we can do in our lives right here is break patterns.
Yeah.
Break negative patterns. I'm trying to break so many negative patterns, and you have to just look outside your little world here and like look at it from like 30,000 feet, as they say, and go, God, is this right? Is this healthy? Is this what I should be doing? And that's the only way we can better ourselves as people, as individuals, and as a society, is if we question the things that got us here and ask ourselves, can we do better? And we can all do better.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the easiest way to do it is like every time you get triggered by something, every time something makes you feel a little like jealous or insecure, the answer is not to look outside of you and leave a negative comment about another woman. The answer
Bitch.
is to look inside of yourself and be like, oh, I'm feeling jealous of my daughter right now. Why am I feeling jealous of my daughter? Oh, because I didn't get the love that she's getting. I didn't feel that safety from my parents that she gets to have, and that is making me feel a little jealous. And instead of putting that on my precious daughter, I'm going to look inside and heal that part of me. I'm going to figure out how to get that part of me inside feeling good so that I'm not projecting my pain onto somebody else. And so that's the answer. That's the easiest way to heal, is to, anytime you get triggered, to look within, not to look outside.
It's a long, hard road, my friends, but it's worth the drive. And on the end of it, and all the way through the journey, you know what? If you can just make one little tiny change every single day, just going, oh, like seriously, we have to. It's not even. Eventually, it gets to not even like women on women crimes. It's humanity on humanity crimes. Like, I can be nicer to my neighbors. I can be nicer. I can give a smile to the person who's at the gas station. I can help out just add, again, back to levity. What is it, Mike?
Levity, not gravity.
Levity, not gravity. Anything you can do, rather than somebody like cuts you off in the road, just like, hey, you smile. You don't have to, actually. You can blow them up if you want to.
No.
But we all need to be better, and not just women on women, men on men, but just humanity on humanity. We can all be better. We're all here on the same earth trying to figure out the same shit and trying to get through a lot of other stuff. And we all have personal problems and stuff like that. But if you can like just add something rather than take something away. So rather than sending a fucking shitty text or talking shit behind somebody's back, just say something nice. Like, "Oh my God, I love your shoes. Oh, you look great today. Oh, you look happy." That will make somebody's life. If we just do little tiny things like that, say something nice to somebody, it just builds this giant ball of glowing energy and light, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, and give people the benefit of the doubt. If somebody cuts you off in traffic or, does something rude, like maybe somebody they love is in the hospital and they're racing to get there. Or, maybe they've had the shittiest day of their life and that's why they're
It
being
was
rude
an
to you.
accident. Give people a little leniency.
Yeah, give
I
people the
appreciate
benefit
that.
of the doubt. Don't assume the worst about somebody that you don't know. Like something really hard could be going on to make them behave that way.
Yeah. I saw this thing on Instagram a couple days ago, and it was really funny. It was how it was just two people walking next to him, and it said, "Imagine this is how people act when they're in a car." And this guy kind of edges over a little bit, and the guy next to him just starts screaming and yelling and screaming and yelling. But because there's no car there, it just looks so funny. And then another person's like walking, another person behind him, and he stops, and the other guy kind of runs into the back of him and starts screaming and yelling like as if he was in a car. But because there's no car, you really get to see what that interaction's like. Like it's inhumane. It's
Yeah.
out of control. If you weren't in a car and you did that same thing because somebody tried to turn at the same time you did, you'd be like, "Oh," if there was no car there, you'd be like, "Oh, sorry," like that. But because there's that car there, people go absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the metaphor that it is, but it's like basically if you have like I don't know, something about a smooth surface inside, like the pebble won't disturb you as much kind of thing. But you think of somebody that has that big of a reaction to something like that, and it's like, damn, they've got a lot inside. They've got a lot of shit inside they're not dealing with. The last thing that I did want to say that I did learn at my girls' weekend is, and through my women's yoga teacher training, is that I think because probably my mom's mom was very mean and cruel to her in a lot of ways. Like my mom wasn't really affectionate with me. Like she would hug me occasionally, but like I don't think she ever held my hand or like snuggled with me. Like I would snuggle with my dad every night on the couch. Before bed and watch TV, but I never like snuggled with my mom. And so at the yoga teacher training, they were like, we would get paired off and they're like, "Okay, like now hold hands with your partner." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, I like looked at my partner. I was like, "Are we going to do that?" And she's like, "Yeah." She had 5 sisters or 4 sisters. So she's like, "Yeah, give me your hand." And so we're like laying in our Shavasana and like, I hold hands with you all the time. I cuddle with you all the time, but I've never held a woman's hand. And so we held hands and it was like a little uncomfortable for me, but it was like sweet. And then a lot of my friends that we were in bed with and some that I've been friends with since I was like a kid are like very affectionate and like they want to hug me and they want to hold my hand and they like want to walk arm in arm. And it all makes me like a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm like, this is good. Like I should be holding my friends' hands and like putting my arms around them and like swaying at a concert together. And like I never hug your daughter. Like I know I need to like hug your daughter more. I know.
I want you to.
And yeah, I mean, it's just
She swings at me when I try to hug her.
yeah, I mean, she's not gonna love it either. But I think that like she probably doesn't get a lot of like women on women affection, and I think it's just kind of like one of those other things that like I don't know, generations of women being competitive with each other. We don't embrace each other. It's not natural. Like it feels still very unnatural to me. But I'm like, well, I don't want to do that with my daughter. I don't want to like not give her physical affection and have her like be scared to touch other women.
Is it crazy how much damage we've done to each other through these years?
Yeah.
Were we ever normal, you know?
I don't know.
I wonder how much of it really came from when like the settlers came to America and took it from the Native Americans as they did, but like that was hard living. Like
Yeah.
I love watching those old like movies and stuff like that, the Taylor Sheridans and the whatever, where you see how hard it was. The living was hard, and like you could not coddle your son or your daughter. It's like we're on survival mode.
Yeah.
Like you just survive.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a different way in like Europe and Asia and different places of like they didn't have that immediate survival urgency unless of course there was a war or something going on. But you feel like in Italy, you see women arm in arm, holding each other. They're kind of in more of a comfortable.
Kiss their friends on the lips, and
men, women, everyone's kissing, loving. I wonder if, because that was a period of like hundreds of years here in Americas, where people were just worried about getting killed and doing this, and it was just like, you had to build the toughest people. You had to have massive families because most of them weren't going to live. I mean, I wonder if that's where a lot of our real harshness came from. And then we get into this commercialism and capitalism that we're in now, and now it's more of that kind of competition. But we don't have any kind of a strong backbone in good human relationships, large families, loving and stuff like that. You know, if you look at these countries and continents that are so much older, I wonder if they have a better family value.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they do. And they, like, America is always talked about as a very individualistic society where it's like the individual is out for themselves. And, you know, we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Like, you go to college, you start a career. Whereas in these other, like, Asian societies, for example, are known for being like collectivist societies. And you think about the unit. It's like everything is done as a unit, and you're doing more things. Like, you run a family business. You do things together.
You have grandparents taking care of the young kids, and everyone's in the house. Everyone's cooking for each other, and they're taking care of each other, which allows you to accumulate more financial gain because you don't all have mortgages. You don't all have to have babysitters. You don't all have to have a car. You don't all have to have that, where you share a lot of those things. It's just certainly not the American way.
No, it's not. And I don't know if it's even more financial gain, but it's like survival, I think, in a lot of ways. Just another side note, in my yoga teacher training, it was a lot about, like, you know, birth and all these practices. And there were these doctors, I think it was like in the 50s or 60s, but it was like, don't hold your baby too much. You'll spoil them. Like, don't go pick your baby up every time it cries. Like, you're going to spoil them. You're going to make them too soft. And it's like, no, you can't spoil a baby. Like, what those doctors' advice actually did was create, like, generations of kids with attachment wounds where they don't feel like when they're upset that somebody's going to come help them.
Nobody loves me. I have that for sure. Yeah, we've just been taught wrong. We've been shown the wrong direction. So just try, if anything, just try to be kinder to the people near you.
Yeah, and warm and loving. And, like, you know, next time you want to tear somebody down, like, pause. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, how about you say something nice instead? Pause and say something nice instead.
Say something nice instead.
Yeah.
Let's get the
like,
t-shirts
you're
made.
so beautiful, and your boyfriend's so sexy. Lucky you.
I don't think you can pull that off. Somehow it doesn't feel like a truth in that. You know? Yeah, that was good though. I dare you to. Somebody write that. I don't know. We gave it a stab.
Yeah.
We're just trying to give insight and see if we can't become better people, and see if any of our healing and our observations help you become a better person also.